Shark calls the dust cup on this vacuum XL. I checked what that actually means in real terms, and it's smaller than you'd expect for something wearing that label. That got me curious about what else on the spec sheet doesn't quite line up. Turns out, quite a bit. And oddly enough, that's actually good news for anyone shopping for this vacuum right now. Welcome to Sweep Gear, where we dig past the marketing copy so you know exactly what you're buying before you spend $1. If you've ever owned a pet and a corded vacuum at the same time, you know the routine. Drag it out of the closet, untangle the cord from around a chair leg, haul it up the stairs because your dog decided the landing was the perfect spot for a nap and a shed. By the time you're done, you've worked up a sweat over something that should have taken 10 minutes. That's the exact frustration cordless stick vacuums were built to solve, and it's a big reason the Shark Pet cordless stick vacuum, model IX141, keeps showing up on pet owners' shortlists. But being lighter and cordless doesn't automatically make a vacuum good. So let's get into what this one actually does well, where it comes up short, and who it's really built for. Here's something that caught my attention early on. Shark's own product page lists the weight at just over 10 pounds. Nearly every retailer selling it, including Amazon and Walmart, lists it at 7.5. Both numbers come straight from official listings, so neither one is made up. My best guess is the heavier figure includes packaging and accessories, while 7.5 pounds is closer to what you're actually holding while you clean. Keep that in mind because it matters for how this vacuum feels day to day. And I'll come back to it. Let's start where most buyers actually start. Pet hair. Across a wide range of verified owner feedback, this is the one area where the IX141 earns consistent, specific praise. Not just it works, but detailed comments about pulling hair out of carpet fibers on the first pass and lifting hair off hardwood without scattering it everywhere first. The floor head uses a bristle brush roll that grips into carpet while staying in contact with hard floors, which is the mechanical reason it handles both surfaces without you swapping anything. Now back to that weight question. In hand, this thing behaves like a 7.5 pound vacuum. Owners consistently describe it as easy to run one-handed even through longer sessions or up a flight of stairs. If you're coming from a heavy corded upright, this is where the relief really shows up. Several people specifically mentioned switching from a heavier plug-in vacuum and immediately noticing less strain on their back and shoulders. That's not a small thing if vacuuming has ever left you sore. Battery life is where I want to be straight with you because it's the most common complaint tied to this vacuum. Shark rates it at up to 40 minutes, measured in standard mode with no accessories attached. In real-world use, once you factor in switching floor types or hitting boost mode on a stubborn patch of carpet, most owners land closer to 30 to 35 minutes. For an apartment or a home under roughly 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, that's genuinely enough to finish everything in one pass. Go bigger than that or add a couple of heavy shedders to the mix, and you may find yourself pausing to recharge before you're done. I looked into whether Shark sells a separate spare battery for this specific model to stretch that runtime, and I couldn't confirm one is currently available. If battery life is a deal breaker for you, check that directly before buying instead of assuming it's an option. One feature that doesn't get talked about enough is the LED headlights built into the floor nozzle. It sounds minor until you vacuum under a bed or along a dark baseboard and suddenly spot a layer of dust and hair you would have completely missed with the lights off. Owner feedback backs this up almost every time it comes up. People say they didn't expect to care about this feature and now don't want to go back to a vacuum without it. Then there's the handheld conversion, and this is where it genuinely stands apart. A lot of stick vacuums just let you pop the wand off, which works, but still leaves you holding something a little awkward. This one has an actual dedicated hand vac that lifts out on its own, no tools required. Stairs, car interiors, couch cushions, pet beds, all handled by the same machine you use on your floors. Add the included crevice tool and pet multi-tool, and this effectively replaces a second separate handheld vacuum for a lot of households. Now here's something worth clearing up because I noticed some confusion floating around online. A few write-ups describe this exact model as having a self-cleaning anti-tangle brush roll that automatically stops hair wrap. When I checked that claim against Shark's official listing for this model, that specific technology isn't mentioned. Shark does put that feature on other vacuums in their lineup, just not confirmed on this one. So if there's very long hair in your house, human or pet, don't assume this model has that built-in protection. It performs well overall, but that particular claim isn't something I could verify for the IX141. On maintenance, a smaller number of owners mention occasional clogging, particularly with fine debris. This tends to improve with regular filter cleaning, which is true of nearly every cordless vacuum in this category. not a flaw unique to this one. Noise level comes up as moderate, quiet enough for evening cleaning without waking anyone up, which is a nice low-key win. If you're weighing this against other options, here's how it stacks up. Against Bissell's pet-focused cordless vacuums, which sit at a similar price and lean hard into anti-tangle tools. The IX141 counters with LED headlights, the true handheld conversion, and a longer warranty. If pure pet hair-specific tooling is your top priority, Bissell deserves a look. Against Dyson's V8 or V10, you're looking at noticeably stronger suction and a more premium feel, but at a meaningfully higher price, and usually without headlights included. And if you're already sold on Shark and wondering about their higher tier lines like Stratos, those add automatic suction sensing and a bendable wand, features this model doesn't have, for a price jump that may or may not be worth it depending on your home. If you're considering buying one, I've left the product link in the description below so you can check today's price and see current customer reviews for yourself. One more thing before we wrap up. This vacuum comes with a 5-year limited warranty, which is genuinely long for something in this price range. That said, I came across one detailed account of an owner whose vacuum's neck assembly cracked after about 7 months of light use, and that specific replacement part wasn't covered, leaving them to pay for it out of pocket. That's a single account, not a pattern that showed up elsewhere, but it's worth knowing not every component may be fully protected. Registering your product and holding onto your documentation is a smart move either way. So who should actually buy this? If you're a pet owner dealing with mixed flooring, carpet in the bedrooms, hardwood or tile elsewhere, this vacuum handles that transition without you doing anything extra. If you're in an apartment or a home under 2,000 square feet, the runtime is genuinely enough to finish in one go. And if you're tired of hauling out a heavy corded vacuum for quick daily cleanups, this solves that specific problem better than almost anything else at this price. On the other hand, if you've got a large home and don't want to plan your cleaning around a recharge, or you specifically need confirmed anti-tangle technology because of very long hair in the house, look elsewhere or verify those details directly before buying. And if raw suction power above everything else is what you're after, Dyson will outperform this at a higher price. Weighing it all at its typical selling price, somewhere between $150 and $180. This holds up as a genuinely good value. You're getting features like the headlights and true handheld mode that usually show up on vacuums, priced well above this. At full retail, closer to $300, that case gets a lot weaker, so wait for a sale if you can. That's the honest picture of the Shark Pet Cordless Stick Vacuum, strengths, limitations, and everything in between. If this helped you figure out whether it's the right fit for your home, tap that like button. It genuinely helps this channel keep making straight talk reviews like this one. And if you want more honest vacuum breakdowns before you spend your money, go ahead and subscribe to Sweep Gear. Now I'm curious, is battery life the thing that would make or break this purchase for you, or is it something else? Drop a comment and let me know. I read every one of them.